Deadline special. We got Ramona Shelburne with us. We got Brian Windhorst with us. Paul Pierce still with us. What is the latest on the Marcus Morris sweepstakes, Ramona?
Okay, Marcus Morris will be going to the Clippers.
The Clippers.
But this is still a little bit fluid. The Knicks have on the Knicks side, okay, they're going to do this for Mo Harkless for a 2020 first, a 2021 second, but there's still something else going on with this. So this is just the side of the Knicks. My understanding is that Mo Harkless is staying there in New York, and they intend to keep him.
The Knicks may be working on some other maneuvers right now.
Yep.
Also, the Clippers now have opened up 3 or possibly even 4 roster spots. So other things are happening. Obviously, the Cleveland Cavaliers have just acquired Andre Drummond at center. They now have Tristan Thompson, who they want to move on from. So Tristan Thompson now becomes one of the most actively, trying to move players in the league in this last 20, 25 minutes.
Wow. What do you think, Paul, of the idea of that deal going through?
Well, the good thing is you get a guy who's battle-tested. You get another veteran. And it gives them more size, when they get into the playoffs and they have to match up some of these big guys they have in the West. And some toughness and leadership. That's what I like about. And he's a consistent guy. I mean, I think he really takes a rotation spot away from J. Michael Green, who's been pretty inconsistent for them. So he gives them a stable veteran as you get deeper in the playoffs.
And they keep him away from the Lakers.
And you stay away from the Lakers.
That's really one of the biggest
this is just where we are in this league right now. The Kawhi Leonard situation, this situation, we're going to have buyouts in the next, 7 to 10 days that are going to come down. And then obviously we are barreling towards a playoff series between these two teams.
Yeah,
this is an LA league right now. So much that happens is about LA versus LA.
And of course, for the Clippers particularly, the Clippers have been the little brother here for so long. And the idea that they pulled off getting Kawhi and now getting Marcus Morris.
Let me just say this. This is what's happening right now is the fact that the Lakers traded so much for Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
And they don't regret it, okay? It's not a thing. But when they've gone all in, there's just not much left there to do. And because Kyle Kuzma is like the only main asset that they have, if they're not willing to include Kyle Kuzma in a trade, they pretty much can't make it. Now, I'm sure they're looking to try to pick up Derrick Rose. It was believed that Derrick Rose was not going to be moved by the Pistons. But now that they've moved on from Andre Drummond, I wouldn't be surprised if the Lakers go back and try one last thing here.
They have 19 minutes. They have 19 minutes to get this done. This is amazing
When
to
the
watch.
Lakers did the Anthony Davis trade, they really left the cupboard bare. When the Clippers did the Paul George trade, they didn't leave the cupboard bare. And it's not just...
They had more in the cupboard, too.
Yes, and it's not because they outfoxed the Lakers on this or whatever. It's just they have more, and that's what we're going to see it today, and I think we're going to see it again in the future.
Well, Ramona, I know this is still fluid. I know there might be another piece of this deal, but it's enough for me because I think that this is going, and I think that...
Just don't aim at me.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
You need professional help. I just want you to know that.
I understand.
I'm just saying, one more trade to announce. It's going to be a light free agency. This is all I have, people. Woj reporting Washington trading Jordan McRae to Denver for Shabazz Napier, who was traded from Minnesota to the Nuggets in the Capella-Covington deal. This poor man does not know where to hang his hat. We will stay with you guys because, man, again, 18 minutes away. The clock is ticking. Marcus Morris to the Clippers. But again, you see Ramona and Brian on their phones. They say this is a fluid situation. There might be more coming. The Lakers now, if they lost out on Marcus Morris, looking to make a deal. They've got 17 minutes and 45 seconds to get it done. This is our distant replay we're going to show you on the way out. It's this date in 2001. Take a look. Jason Kidd.
Oh, goodness.
But Jason Kidd, you won't see him.
How's that not? It's not a travel, but it looks like
You don't see the imagination
should be,
in a
but
game
it's
like this.
not a travel. That's awesome.
More trade talks over the summer. He really wanted to get me. It's funny. He and Andre Drummond really both kind of wanted to get traded.
Well, one of them did.
Now they're on the same team. It's very difficult to move Kevin Love, especially the Cavs are looking for multiple picks coming back. And, this is the same sort of situation with Andrew Wiggins. Teams felt like you had to give Andrew Wiggins and draft picks. Cavs feel like they should be getting draft picks. The other teams say you should give us Kevin Love with draft picks. They haven't been overcome that. There's still 15 minutes left. But
Look at that. Look at Kate in our graphics department. The cost of love. Kate Howard, that is excellent there. All right, I want to bring you guys back to really, let's be honest, the most critical situation of this trade deadline. Amin broke my trade crank. Evelyn is over there working on it just to make sure by the time we have something, she is going to make sure that this is done. You mark my words, by the end of this show, this trade crank will be working again. And look, I want to get back. I want to get back to the Timberwolves because that was our biggest trade of the day so far, although we have had Marcus Morris in a developing situation going to the Clippers. We'll see if that turns out to be more. But it's been an interesting month for Karl Anthony Towns. They're on a 13-game losing streak. Around the time that the Robert Covington-Clint Capella trade was announced, Karl Anthony Towns posting on his IG some faces. They were not happy faces, guys. These are not happy faces in reaction to this trade. And he spoke after that game about how close he and Rocco were and the fact that he's just seen guy after guy dealt from this team that he felt like was a part of winning. He said it's been losing for a long time. I'm trying not to do that blank anymore. Every possession means a lot. You obviously see my patience running low with a lot of things. There's no excuses. We got to get it done. And then, of course, our Kendrick Perkins tweet. Good night, Timberwolves, because that is a reference, of course, to Karl Anthony Towns saying at the beginning of the season, don't sleep on us. But guess what, Perk? While you were sleeping, like that's okay. The Wolves were working on a deal to get to Angelo Russell, and now he is going to Minnesota for Andrew Wiggins. Do you think that Karl Anthony Towns is going to at least get some pep from this and feel like, hey, we're really doing something? And this is important. He is signed to this team. He signed a 5-year deal. Yeah. And him being unhappy, let's not forget, there was a player in Minnesota who was really unhappy, who was under contract, and agitated his way out of Minnesota for a trade and practically blew up the franchise to get it done. Well, so the Timberwolves don't need a repeat of that. That is not Tyus Jones. Thank you.
Also, the Knicks just hired his agent, which is another interesting little sidelight here. I've had people being on the phone with me, arguing with me about this trade since it went down from the league. I had an executive tell me that I'm going to end up apologizing to Bob Myers for saying that I didn't like the trade assets that were sent to Golden State in this deal. But ultimately, let's forget about the draft assets for a moment. The Timberwolves were at rock bottom. Rock bottom. Losing last night to Atlanta. Playing some of the worst defense the league has ever seen. Karl getting angrier and angrier.
Matt Barnes, the worst defense the league has ever seen.
Some of the worst.
He's not lying, though.
Saying a lot.
So the fact they were able to get a guy who not only should increase their talent level, they're able to break the situation with Wiggins, which has been like a cloud hanging over. It should move them forward. And frankly, the fact that they didn't have to give multiple firsts and that they didn't have to give this year's first. And I know you can talk about how bad the 2020 draft class is from now until sundown. If you have 2 picks in the top 5, which potentially they were looking at, it's going to help you. But okay, they didn't. I already broke my promise about not talking about the trade. I think it was a good deal. We'll point something out about D'Angelo Russell. This is his 5th season.
Yes.
This is his 4th team.
Yes.
Okay, now I know the Nets moved on from him because
I was going to say that.
But nonetheless, I just want to point that out. Let's not just, before you throw the parade, let's just also realize that.
I mean, I want to know Cat is a tremendous talent.
Yes.
Tremendous talent. There's no doubting that. But does he have what it takes here and what it takes here to be a #1 option to get your team to the playoffs? I've seen a lot of tweeting and memes and all this, but you got your boy now. So it's time to put up or shut up because, like I said, Minnesota's been trashed since KG left. Let's just be honest with every situation.
Damn.
They thought that Karl Anthony Towns was going to be that next guy to fill those shoes. He's yet to do that by any means. Like I said, his talent is unmeasured. One of the most talented big guys in the game. But does he have the heart and the mindset to be a dog and go out there and will this team to get off this losing streak?
And by the way, that's not just on the offensive end. That's on the defensive end.
A complete game.
You've got
complete game.
He's got to be more focused on that side. And D'Angelo Russell is his best friend, but he's not going to help defensively.
All right, look, I got to say, you tried to foil me when we did the Andre Drummond trade to Cleveland. This wasn't working. I had the backup confetti. I had the backup sirens, because that's kind of prepared I am. But now, thank you, Evelyn. Thank you, Mylan. Thank you, everyone in the studio who got me set back up. The trade crank is going again. We are ready. There's 7 minutes and 15 seconds left of the trade deadline, so stick with us. Coming up, the clock's almost out. We will discuss what has changed in the landscape of the NBA.